Hey, Sam here, or as you probably know me better, not at all. Let's be honest, this YouTube channel has been very neglected for the last year, and it's basically just been the dumping ground for my extra stuff. But that's going to change in 2021. At least, that's the plan. 2020 was a weird year, and so I thought I'd start off the best way possible by doing a review, taking it down. You know, its pros, its cons, whether it's getting a pay rise or not, that kind of thing. So, without further ado, let's get started. Let's start with the basics. What I actually achieved in 2020. Let's start off with games. What did I complete in 2020? There's a fair old list of them, but I'd probably say my favourite would be Assassin's Creed Origins, probably followed up quite closely by Red Dead Redemption 2. I'm aware I'm quite late to both of those games, playing them in 2020, but to be honest with you, I've always had an issue with backlog, and this, is just a thing with me. If you've ever come along to one of my Twitch streams, you'll know that there's a lot of stuff I haven't completed and that I kind of want to complete. So I'm hoping 2021 will be the year that I knock some more things off my list. Honourable mention actually goes to Life is Strange 2, because Life is Strange games, 100% my thing. Love them to bits, and I am looking forward to more. Movies was a slightly different fare to usual. Normally, I'm quite a movie buff. I have a pass that lets me see as many movies as I want for a monthly fee. In 2019, I watched so many movies. It was amazing. I watched movies that I wouldn't normally have watched, but then with this year and obvious stuff that's happened, that's not really been something that I've been able to do, unfortunately. And so there's not really a whole lot of movies that I can say that I've watched and gone, oh, that was my favourite movie of the year. I am actually struggling. I tried to have a think on this and I can't think of anything. It's very hard. Next up, we've got TV, and I'm not going to lie, there's not a whole lot in there. In fact, the majority of my TV watching has been older stuff that I'm just like, I'm going to watch this. So there's not really been any big blockbuster stuff, probably none of the stuff you'd say is like the defining television of 2020. It's been stuff like, I finally started watching Angel for the first time with my partner. We made a tradition of just getting a bottle of wine each and drinking it while we just watch Angel every Saturday night. It's been fantastic. We also watched a TV show called Moonlight, which nothing to do with the Oscar-winning film, but it's basically, if you've ever seen Hawaii Five-0, Alex O'Loughlin, the main character in that, basically a vampire detective. He's a vampire, he's a private eye, he solves crimes that always seem to be down to vampires at the end of the day. Like, there doesn't seem to be any other supernatural stuff going on, which maybe was being saved for season 2 because it never actually made it out of season 1. They were like, no more. My standout for the year, however, is probably going to have to be rewatching the entirety of the first series of Digimon with my partner. She had never seen it before. I have always been a massive Digimon stan. I've always preferred it over Pokemon. It's my thing. That's what I'm saying. Digimon gets all my friends like, it's Pokemon. Oh, yeah, Mewtwo. You got Mew. You see Evolution. I don't understand that point of view. However, Metal Greymon, War Greymon, my Otis one. I don't know if it's one. Better guess. Now my Otis one. What? Yes, I'm over the oh no, we have to kill the little sprite with this inside. I 100% am looking forward to watching the next season, which I had to order from Malaysia. That was the only place they would sell it. It's not on streaming services. It is not on Amazon. I don't know what's going on and why that you could buy season 1, season 3, but season 2, gone. Which is weird because, season 2 I've also got some great memories for. So I'm looking forward to that one in 2021. Now on to the big things. In 2020, I started streaming for the first time on Twitch. It's something I'd actually been talking about the late end of 2019, and I never got around to it. I didn't think I had time, and if I'm honest, I was scared. It was a scary prospect. I did not want to do it for the fear of failing, and I put it off for a very long time because of that. And, well, let's just go over how it went, shall we? I started streaming the end of March 2020. I was streaming on a microphone that was bought for me for Christmas that year, a camera that I had bought relatively cheaply in the sales, and a laptop that was and still is dying every time you try and open up OBS Studio. I kept at streaming. I joined Facebook groups. I became more active on Twitter, which has been both a positive and a negative, to be honest, in my year. And then people started coming and hanging out. People started chatting. I got my first follows from people that I didn't know in real life. It was a great feeling, and it kept me going. It spurred me onwards, especially talking to the fantastic other people that I met while doing this, other streamers, through the fantastic Strum Friends Discord group, which I highly recommend you check out if you're a streamer who wants to get out there. It's fantastic. I'll put a link somewhere around here. Go check it out. They're great people, set up by the always awesome Grim. They have been someone who I've looked up to in this streaming space for a while. In fact, I think it was actually the welcome I received from the people I knew already in the streaming space that made me feel so much better about it. People like Grim, when they welcomed me in immediately, it felt good to me, and that's what I needed. I needed this community where, I'll be honest with you, I've never had a bad interaction. Every single one of them has been a joy to talk to. They helped me when I wanted to build my own computer. They talked me through what the best things to do were, what I should buy, what I shouldn't buy, where I've been led astray by the internet. They know what they're talking about. They are fantastic people, and I'm really hoping that I might get to meet a couple of them in person this year. It'd be nice, but even if not, I just hope that I can keep hanging out with them in this wonderful world we call the internet. But back on the story. On the 28th of August, I received a raid that I don't think I ever actually got over. The official Sega Twitch channel raided me while I was playing 2 Point Hospital, and I absolutely lost the ability to talk for at least half an hour, probably a full hour. I didn't know what to do with myself, and the idea that Sonic the Hedgehog had decided to raid me was something I lived off for a long time, probably much to the annoyance of people who followed me on Twitter. I even started my own hashtag, which I'm pretty sure I was the only one to use. Sonic gave me affiliate, because that's what happened. After that raid, after that little boost in followers that it gave me, I hit my affiliate requirements. I'd made it to something that I had always in the back of my head said, you know, don't ever set your mind on this actually happening. And as much as people like to talk down affiliate status, people say, oh, it's so easy to get affiliate. It meant something to me. It meant a hell of a lot to me. And I am still proud that I managed to hit that. Especially in the 5 months that I had actually been taking streaming seriously. I'm now sat at 93 followers as of the end of 2020. And the idea that there are 93 people who actually care enough to come back boggles my mind. It really does. I never thought that that would be a thing. I started building my own PC this year. I mean, I say started building. I've bought most of the bits. In fact, I have pretty much all the bits apart from the graphics card, which, you know, is a rather big issue because I have everything to make a computer run, but I just can't see what the hell is going on it. I also don't have a case. But, you know, maybe I can have an arty, naked computer. I know a whole load of IT professionals just shuddered there and or started writing comments. But don't worry, that's a joke, I promise. So PC building stream in 2021, guys. Be there or don't, I guess. I mean, I'm not your mother. Something else that happened in 2020 that I feel I need to talk about, because it needs to be a thing that's not hidden away, both for me and for society in general. I finally went and I spoke to my GP about the horrifically crippling anxiety I've been having. And you know what? It wasn't half as bad as I thought it was going to be. And he gave me two options. I could sit on a waiting list to get some one-on-one therapy, or I could go to group therapy. And let me tell you, I sat in that room and I went, I do not want to be in the same room as other people having to talk about my issues. But, and this was incredibly uncharacteristic of me, I went with the group therapy. I wanted to get this sorted straight away. And I went, and it was fine. Unfortunately, 2020 cut short the sessions for obvious reasons. They couldn't have a whole group of people in a room together. So I never finished. it. They gave me the course materials. I took them home. They rang me up to check on me. They rang me up to see how I was doing. They did the scores with me. And they told me that my anxiety was a whole lot better. Whether I believe that or not, I don't know. Although it did improve for a while, my anxiety is actually getting worse again. Most of that's probably due to waves generally 2020. But a lot of it is probably due to the fact that I fell out of using the techniques they gave me. I don't know if I'm going to go back to the GP this year. I might wait until stuff is a bit better, a bit more died down, and I don't feel guilty sitting in a room with what is a legitimate issue, but I feel bad on some level sitting in a room with a nice old lady who I am potentially endangering just by being there because of my brain problem. But this is a topic for another video that maybe I'll go into this year, because as I said, I think this kind of thing needs talking about. But on that segue, let's move into 2021 and what I want to do. I posted these 2021 goals on Twitter over Christmas, which, if you're not following me already, it's Samalytical everywhere. Get in there. Links below, or somewhere. But I'm going to go through them again and give them a bit more context, I think. So the first thing I have on my list is I want to stream for charity. I have seen some fantastic charity streams this year from people I look up to and respect, and I want to do that. I have causes that I'm passionate about, things that I think are unfair in the world, and I want to do something about that. And if I can even just a little bit use this tiny little slither of a platform that I've managed to pick up, I want to. And that's something that's going to happen in 2021. I said earlier we managed to get to 93 followers in the 10 months that I was seriously streaming. Well, I'd like to make that 200 by the end of 2021. And maybe that's unrealistic, but I'm going to aim somewhere higher than I normally would, because I want it to drive me and I want it to make me better. Again, I know how pretentious this sounds. I'm very bad at bigging myself up, putting myself forward. I always think people are going to look at this and say, God, he's above his station. But do you know what? Maybe I want a bigger station. I'm sorry, Chair. The other thing I actually want to do is just be a little bit less harsh on myself and my streams. I've nitpicked every single stream of 2021. That's not even a joke. I have gone to bed after the stream and sat there thinking about the things that potentially went wrong. Did the audio drift? Did I not speak enough? Did I not handle things well? When I was raided, did I clam up and put across a bad impression, leading everyone to leave? These are all legitimate concerns, but they shouldn't be the thing that I'm focusing on immediately after finishing. I need to enjoy what I managed to do. The fact that I managed to entice 5 people to follow. The fact that that person decided they wanted to raid me. The fact that I had a nice conversation with someone. The fact that someone came back for the 3rd stream in a row to say hi again. Those are the important things, and those are the things that I'm going to focus on. As I say, I want to improve on my craft with the streaming, as wanky as that might sound. It's something I'm really enjoying and I want to get better at it. I have so many ideas that I'm limited on by the hardware I have. I want to have transitions, I want to have cool things in there, I want to have redeems where you guys can do things on the stream. That's what I'm hoping for, at least. But it's going to take work, and it's going to take processing power more than the laptop that decides to fall over every single time I try and do something with it. I open a Chrome window and it kills the stream. I open a Firefox window, it kills the stream. I do anything, it kills the stream, essentially. And it's become a running joke in the chat going, Sam, did you open something? Sam, are you running something else? What are you doing? And as much as I enjoy that little bit of nitpicking on me, I want to make it better. I want to make it better both for myself and for the people in the chat who come to see me. I want to give you the best that I think I can, and at the moment I'm not. So that's something that's going to change in 2021. Outside of streaming, I've got some other goals I'd like to hit, and these are less quantified and more general, I think. First of all, as I've talked about with movies and TV, I'd like to watch more of them. I've got quite a backlog of both. I've got a lot of movies that are sat basically on an entire shelf that are just DVDs that I bought secondhand, couple of quid from HMV when they were basically going through a 3 or 4 year long shutting down sale. But I'd like to watch some of those and actually catch up on them, because that's the point. And what I always said was, once those DVDs were gone, my video games would go on those shelves rather than them just cluttering up all over the place. And that's never happened. So I'm going to try and at least make a dent in those. There is enough there that I could watch one every week and clear it in a year. So why not try and do that? Maybe watch 2, have a week off to do something else. Who knows, cinemas might open up again. TV, I want to do the same. Obviously I'm going to continue with the things I'm already watching. The Digimon and The Angel. Unfortunately not the Moonlight, as previously discussed, because TV executives don't know when they've got a good thing. But I'd also like to add some other stuff in there. I didn't mention before, but I got into Attack on Titan for the first time. I always used to be an anime fan, and I fell out of it for a while. So I've watched the first season, and I hear the 4th season is really good, so I'm going to try and catch up. There's no reason I couldn't power through that kind of thing. I've had a couple of conversations on stream about anime as well in general and things I want to watch, and I am quite behind on a lot of things. Sword Art Online, for example, or basically name anything. One Piece, Dragon Ball Z. I've only ever watched the first season of Dragon Ball Z. Anything like that, you talk about it, your staple animes. I've probably not watched it, and I'm going to try and change that. Maybe not all of them, but a couple of them would be nice. When it comes to games as well, I want to try and make more a dent in them. I bought games last year at Christmas with Christmas money, thinking these are cheap in the Boxing Day sales, I'll play them this year, and I didn't play them. Stuff like Greedfall or Assassin's Creed Odyssey, never played them, bought them, they've been sat there, and I probably could have bought them again this year for a little bit cheaper. So I'm going to try and power through those as well. I need to make more time for myself. Obviously I've got the streaming and hopefully the video making as well, but I'm going to try and schedule myself a bit better. Books as well are another thing that I need to pick up on. Last year I set myself a goal of reading 50 books through Goodreads. I read 14. And it's just because I didn't give myself the time for it. I read them on my lunch breaks in work. But that was only half an hour, and sometimes I wouldn't read them. And I read some quite thick books, so I'm not saying I failed entirely, but I think I'm going to try and set myself a more manageable goal this year. Maybe cut it down to 25. See how I go with that. But either way, I want to make more time for that, because again, it's something I really enjoy doing. And I think overall, my year and my work through the streaming and the video making will be improved if I'm actually in that mindset where I've enjoyed what I've done outside of it. Because TV, movies, books, all things I really enjoy, and that I kind of didn't make time for myself, despite all the free time I should have had this past year. But 2021, the year of doing things for myself. Something else I think it'd be fun to do this year is I noticed that at the end of last year, everyone was taking these sort of me at the start of the year, me at the end of the year in selfies, or here's my outfits of the year in selfies. And I quickly realised that I had taken no selfies at all year, pretty much. Like I had to search back a while, and even then I was like, this is not a quality tweet. So one thing I'm going to try and do this year is I'm going to set myself a goal of taking at least one selfie a week and posting it as well, be it to Twitter or to Instagram or to both. Lord knows I need to use my Instagram more. Maybe this will inspire me. You know, some part of me will be like, well, you can't have it entirely be selfies. People are going to think you're a narcissist. Other than that, I think it will be good for my mental health to be able to appreciate myself a bit more as well. But hey, we'll see how it goes. So I just need to get over my anxieties and do the things that I want to do, because I'm not getting younger and they're not getting easier. So that's it. That's my 2020 in review. Do I give it a score out of 10? I'm probably going to give it a 7. And maybe you think that's a high score based on everything, but as much as it has been horrible, I have met some fantastic people. I have done some things that I never thought I would do, and I'm in a position where I'm probably happier now than I was at the start. So I have to give it something good, and I'm hoping that on that basis 2021 will be a 10 or even above. I hope you've enjoyed coming through this little tour of 2020 with me and the goals for 2021. Let me know if you've got any of your own down below. I want to very much use this channel to have a conversation with people. That's why I'm going to try and post more videos like this where I talk to a camera and where we can hopefully have a conversation, a back and forth. I get that kind of thing in streaming, and that's why I quite enjoy it, but with this YouTube channel I'd like to kind of do the same maybe. I've got lots of ideas for scripted content, and hopefully I can put some of those out. Depending on how long it takes me to edit them, I'll probably be quite slow to begin with, but over time I'm hoping that I'll start pushing it through a bit quicker once I learn what I'm doing and I'm not having to turn around and Google every few seconds. But until next time, I will leave you with something else that happened on stream, which, well, I don't know where it came from, but ever since the very first stream I have ended every stream in the same way, and I guess now every video in the same way. So you guys take care, and I will see you later.